Hi everyone, and welcome to the Soul Illumination Reading for the sign of Sagittarius. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. And what does that mean? That means that in this reading today, we are looking at what your soul most wants you to know about at this time, so that we can help identify perhaps a block or a challenge, some advice from spirit as to how to overcome that, and then taking a look at a level of abundance or spiritual growth that wants to come in for you. So, Sagittarius, you were calling me today, which is interesting. I feel like I don't often get your sign kind of popping up there as I'm going into my meditations in the morning, but you were front and center. So we're going to see what's coming in. Now, please keep in mind that these readings are general. Only take what resonates. And I do find that sometimes themes can come up that maybe are not around something happening presently, but could be bringing up something from the past that is looking to be readdressed in the present moment, or a lesson that can be learned and brought forward. So let's dive right in, Sagittarius. First, we're going to take a look at what you're sitting with. What does Sagittarius need to know right now about themselves? Okay, Seven of Pentacles. I like this energy. It is the energy of reevaluation. It's one where, love it. So we have the going from the 7 to the 8. So there's a progressive energy that you're sitting in right now, Sagittarius. For many of you, you might be working towards something, and you're in a place of maybe taking a look at how you can either one of two things: change how you're investing your time and energy or effort into something, how you can maybe reorganize what you have in the physical, because our pentacles do denote focusing on the physical plane of our experience. Or you're looking at where you want to continue progress on something, because the 8 of Pentacles is what your soul is really highlighting at this time for you. The 8 of Pentacles is where we get into that place of putting our head down and doing the work to perfect something, whether this is going back to school and you're perfecting some skill set or getting a degree. This could be where you're realizing, okay, I've been saving money towards buying a house, and now I'm going to really put my efforts into continuing to save. And you have a goal in mind. This can also be something along the lines where you're building a business. It could even be where you're looking to build a home, a family, but it could also speak specifically to really building that skill set as well. So for those of you who are maybe looking to go back to school, looking to bring in additional training, there could be a message coming through for you here. But with the 8 of Pentacles being highlighted here, there's a sense of your soul saying it's time to really commit to something, one thing in particular, and to really put some dedicated focus towards that as you're sitting here in the state of reflection. So the 7 of Pentacles really asks you to take a look at everything in your physical experience as it stands now, not as it could be or should have been, but really looking at it from that realistic perspective of, okay, I had a goal in mind of saving to put a down payment on a house, and now I'm actually looking at how much did I actually save? Am I on track to progress? Same thing. This could be I'm building a skill set, and I'm actually going to stop and say, okay, what has this skill set or what has my training actually achieved for me at this point? Or what is my level and what can I actually do? This can also be looking at your time, your energy, your other resources in your life and saying, okay, how much time and energy do I have to put towards something? And does something need to change or kind of be moved around before I start to dedicate myself again to a forward momentum or a forward trajectory? Now, for your underlying energy, you have the 5 of Cups, you have the 9 of Swords, and you have the Queen of Swords. Now, there's a sense here of facing a past disappointment. This could actually be something that you're dealing with now, as this is your underlying energy, the 5 of Cups. This can be where we are mourning the loss of a sense of community, mourning the loss of support, because there's the 3 cups here, and the 3 cups really represent community support, friendships, celebration with others that we're close to. And the 2 of Cups here, though, is standing upright behind the individual. So there's always a sense that there's someone else that's there to support you, or that there's always the option of turning around and being able to take those 2 cups to share with others anew, to start the growth of a new community or a new friendship. But yet this individual is very focused on what has past. That's the 3 cups that are spilled. There's that sense of really kind of grieving the loss of something that's been very emotionally disappointing. And below that, there's the 9 of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So there's a sense here of anxiety or worry, those kind of sleepless nights that come in when we're kind of going over all of those what ifs. What if that happens? What if this happens? What if that happens again? Or what if I don't have the support that I need? Especially when we're going from the 7 of Pentacles to the 8 of Pentacles, there can be that feeling of, I want to commit to something, I want to grow something, I maybe even want to shift some things around in my physical environment so that I can dedicate myself maybe even to something new. But then there is this little disappointment creeping in of, but maybe if I do that, I might lose my support group, or I might experience something in the past again that was emotionally disappointing. But with the Queen of Swords coming up here, right in the middle, she knows what she's been through. She knows what she's capable of. She understands her own story, and she is able to share and speak that out into the world. So she's really the individual that when someone comes and asks you about your life story, it's really stating how you share that with others. This could be where you state how you have gone through one trial and tribulation and successfully come out where you are today. Now, this can also be the reverse, where sometimes we can share a story that is maybe from a perspective of where we were the victim, or we were constantly being hurt, or something along those lines. So there's a sense here, though, of being very clear as to what that story is. What have you gone through, Sagittarius? What have you accomplished? And that's what's actually going to help you get through this period of worry around a potential loss, or around something happening again that in the past had been emotionally disappointing. Because you're really on track here to start to kind of dig in your heels and gain some traction. But first, there needs to be that kind of reevaluation of, what is your story, Sagittarius? What are you truly capable of? What are those lessons you've learned? And maybe even, how can you, in sharing your story, this could even be something here where you're realizing what you've gone through. You might even realize a skill set in taking a broader view of your life, and what maybe you went through a time that was very maybe anxiety filled. Maybe you went through a time that was very financially tough, or you went through a time that was very tough in your family life or home life. And it did lead to something that maybe was emotionally disappointing, but yet there's a story there, a truth there about your resiliency. And there may be something here where all of a sudden there's a key that unlocks where you realize either a skill set that has come about due to that resiliency, and you realize, oh my gosh, I did go through a very financially difficult time, but suddenly I realize I know how to budget. I know how to save. I know how to pinch pennies. And you know what? I'm going to use that now to start to grow something I'm saving towards, or I'm going to start to teach others. Because the Queen of Swords can also be a teacher. She can be someone who is, again, sharing her story. She invites others to share theirs, but she can impart knowledge and wisdom. But there could also be a sense of just taking a look at your life story and realizing, oh my gosh, I have made it through the worries at night. I have made it through the disappointments, and now I'm ready to dig in my heels and start to grow something new, because I understand how much I'm capable of. Now we have Temperance coming in as your main block or point of challenge. Okay, we have the moon twice. For those of you who have watched my videos, you know that this is my magic deck, meaning that multiple double cards will come up in different readings, and they're always different. So it's a very interesting deck. I love it because it's always surprising to me what comes out. Okay, so we have Temperance. We have the moon twice. We have the Ace of Pentacles and we have the Sun. This is beautiful. Here is that eighth pentacle showing up right here in your reading that's taking you forward. And then the Sun coming out. This is the illumination. This is the life-giving light that is going to help this pentacle become something that is going to be added to your 7 right here. So I'll get a little more into that. Temperance. Temperance is a card of moderation. It can actually speak to when we need to bring something into balance, or we need to just be moderate in our activities. This can be where maybe we've been working out too much, working too much, eating too much, drinking too much, and it's saying it's time to kind of bring things into a state of balance. It can also speak to me because it brings in the number 14. There's an element of angelic timing, that sometimes the time isn't right for something. And so when this comes up, it can often denote that the time is actually right now, that things are coming in that are starting to align. It can also speak to bringing two things in together to alchemize them towards making something new. So meaning that you can take experience from the past and bring it into something you're working on in the present moment, and voila, there you go. You have something new coming in. You could also look at this as where you are balancing your emotions with where and how you choose to take action and work from a place of passion, so that you start to kind of blend that feeling of, I'm not going to take action unless I have some emotional connection to something. And that's kind of the catalyst. That's really the magic to life that gets the gears of our life moving, is when we understand that every day we have an entire day filled with little choices where we can choose to zone out, or we can choose to prioritize someone else's emotions and feelings and priorities, or we can choose to do something that we emotionally connect to. So choosing to eat a specific food because it's something that is nourishing to us versus, let's say, someone else's preferences, or just picking up something for the sheer convenience and zoning out as we consume it. This could be where you go to work and you are present in your daily work activities and you realize, oh, I love the work environment. This is what fulfills me. Or where you start to realize, I go to a workplace every day that I'm not emotionally connected to and something needs to change. So this is really that beautiful point of, with the number 14 as well, there's always that sense of freedom through change. So that change comes in and the freedom comes in and the gears kind of reconnect and start to move again when we start to be present in those moments and we start to align again with our emotional connection to every decision we make in our day. Now that could be opening up a little bit of a portal, but this with the moon coming up twice says the way is unclear. There is not going to be anything magical that comes in and says, if you do this now, if you invest more energy here, if you take that course and you level up in your experience, that you're going to have let's see how to put it, that you're going to have an absolute outcome. The moon, when it comes up, asks us to trust our intuition. It asks us if we can walk a path on faith. You see the lobster here. He's being called up by the moon. He's feeling the pull. When we think about how the moon can pull the tides, well, that's what we feel intuitively as well as individuals. And he's being called up to leave his comfort zone of being in the sea to go out and travel on land towards the top of this mountain that's in the distance. And so there's a sense of feeling the call to something new, feeling the call towards a bigger, maybe broader adventure even for yourself. And yet the way is unclear. You're walking in the moonlight. There are shadows. There is no maybe path that you can see truly illuminated. You're just being called up, and it's almost like you're hearing that call. Go on the adventure. Go on the adventure, Sagittarius. So the moon, we do also have the moon at the heart of your reading. This is the advice from Spirit. So this is saying, can you walk this path on faith and trust the intuitive feeling, the intuitive call that is coming through at this time? Because on the other side of that, you will be rewarded with a fresh start. The Ace of Pentacles is a new opportunity for something to grow into something much larger. The Ace of Pentacles can be a boon. It could be you get a gift of a little bit of seed money towards something. This could be the opportunity to move to a new location. This could be the down payment on a house and you get to move into a new house. This could be the recruiter that calls you out of the blue and says, hey, are you looking for a new job? But there's something about whatever this Ace of Pentacles is, it's going to build on what you already have, the Seven of Pentacles. But it's going to feel new. It's going to feel like this opportunity is kind of coming in out of the blue. And there may be that a little bit of that fear and anxiety of, well, if I take this opportunity, or I take this little bit of seed money, or I take moving to a new location or moving jobs, am I going to have to kind of, throw out everything else I've already worked on or worked towards up to this point? And it says it's by taking this new opportunity and kind of walking this path on faith and trusting your intuition, with the sun coming out, there's going to be a true illumination of the self, a true illumination of how this opportunity is actually allowing you to capitalize on a skill set or capitalize on growing something into something much bigger. Meaning when we get to the Eight of Pentacles, we are working towards a goal. We see a broader vision for ourselves. This can be where we're like, okay, we're going to get that skill set in place because our goal is to be able to work at this level, get this kind of job, and have this type of salary. Or I'm going to save diligently. I'm going to become the master saver. I'm going to take this little bit of seed money. I'm going to put it in the bank. It's going to collect interest, and I'm going to allow that to be my buffer while I just save. And with the underlying energy of the Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups, this is your inner child. This is the reconnection emotionally to the most innocent part of yourself. So the sun shows us that part of ourself. That's when we turn the light on internally and we see our soul. We see the child within. We see that part of ourself that just wants to literally go out into the light of day as our most vulnerable, beautiful, happy self. And there's a sense here, the Ace of Pentacles, that this is allowing this part of yourself to come out, that this is a journey, a path that's bringing you to this point, and that the Eight of Pentacles is saying keep working at what you've already started. Use the new opportunity that's coming in as you start to walk this path on faith, as you start to emotionally reconnect to your life experience. And that's what's going to awaken your inner child. And that's what's going to allow for this intense, I think, emotional reconnection to your life experience that maybe you haven't had for quite some time. Now I'm going to pull some additional clarifiers here, Sagittarius. So let's go ahead and, I'm not going to take those because that wasn't really a shuffle, but we'll see if they come out again. I did see the Ten of Pentacles creep in there, so we'll see if that comes out. But I am going to pull some cards here for Temperance. So we're going to see what this card of divine timing and the blending of two aspects of your life to alchemize into something new. Yes, bringing in that new opportunity. Three of Wands. Your ships are coming in. We also have the Devil, which is interesting. So there's a feeling here for some of you that maybe you are blocking yourself. The Devil can represent what holds us back, where we're holding ourself back even from, it's the chains that bind us, where we say, no, we can't go for that. No, I can't do that. And yet here you're pulling almost like your destiny towards you, and yet you're like, no, that's not for me. I have responsibilities. I have to keep working at this job. I have to stay living here. I have to stay with this person, whatever that excuse is. And there's something here that's saying, but there's something coming in. This can also be too, when we think about moderation, we think about blending aspects of ourselves. This could actually be where you are blending maybe a shadow part of yourself, a part of yourself that you have long been tied back by. This could be a tie to, again, something in the past that was disappointing or something that didn't work out, or a part of yourself that kind of comes out that is a darker aspect of the self. And yet now you're seeing that might be, if you accept that part of yourself, that is actually what can bring a new opportunity to you. And it's hard for me to explain that, but it's almost like taking a part of yourself that maybe has always frustrated you, a part of yourself that maybe hasn't always been something that maybe everybody in your life has liked or what would I say, accepted. And that now you're like, you know what? That's actually the best part of myself. Or that's a part of myself I can actually blend with my past experience or my experience now. And I actually see how I can use that to my advantage. I can see how I can use that part of myself to bring something towards me. I know it sounds kind of strange to look at it that way. This can also be too, where for some of you, you're realizing that where you've been stuck for a good period of your life, or something that you kind of held yourself back by, whether this was an addiction or overworking, or being in a romantic relationship that was difficult, that you realize that now in sharing that story with others, you actually can bring in new opportunities, and that your sharing of those experiences might actually be your ticket to helping others. It could be an opportunity again to become a teacher, a coach, a mentor. Okay, let's take a look at the moon. I'm going to laugh if the moon comes out again as a clarifier, because that would just be the most ridiculous thing. So you have the Page of Wands. I love it. This is spirit. This is your soul saying, have fun. The Page of Wands is the light in the darkness. This is the child at play who holds the wand of her eternal flame to guide the way through the darkness, through the unknown. And this is Spirit's confirmation of saying, trust that call and follow what feels instinctually like play for yourself. Oh, beautiful. And then we have Page of Coins. So more childlike energy. So Page of Pentacles and Six of Cups. There's a sense of going back to a time of innocence for yourself. There's also a sense of making peace with the past, so that you can bring forward this beautiful, innocent part of yourself that's waiting to reconnect with you in the present moment. Now, the Page of Pentacles, that's the individual who's curious. They're the individual who's like, you know what? I've been reevaluating what I have in my life physically, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to see how I can share that with others. And I'm going to see what maybe it can bring for me. This would be like, again, you've been working on a skill set. Let's say we could even just kind of dumb this down and say, you've been working on your painting technique, and you've realized, wow, I really love painting. It's something I loved as a child. I've been working hard to really kind of get back in the groove of painting. And now it's time for me to start to show what I'm painted, or start to show what I'm capable of out there. And this would be like saying, you know what? I feel like I should this would almost be like where you keep every day on your drive to work, you go by this little gallery. And it's this little gallery, maybe, it's on the edge of town. And you're like, man, I would just love to have like one of my paintings. Maybe I should just contact that person. Maybe I should just stop in there. Maybe I should. And there's almost like that little thing that creeps in. But then there's that voice, maybe with the devil coming in, of saying, no, that's ridiculous. Remember like how your mom always said that artists never make money, and that your work wasn't even that great anyways, and how you really had to practice and your skill set wasn't that great. And then you realize, but I love painting. I'm passionate about it. And I've held myself back for so long from going out there to see what I could do with my painting, that screw it. I'm cutting those chains from the past. I'm making peace with the past. I'm bringing forward that innocent part of myself that said when I was 10 years old I was going to be an artist, and I'm going to swing by and just bring one of my paintings with me and see what the gallery says. I mean, it can literally be something like that. Now, you can apply this to any aspect of your life. This could be where you really want to work towards bringing in the love of your life, or bringing in a family experience that you don't have currently. And you're like, I'm just going to go join that dating site. Or, I'm going to go out and find that real estate agent. Okay, so for the second moon, which is the advice from Spirit, we have the 10 of Pentacles and the 6 of Swords. Interesting. This can be taken two ways. This could be that for some of you, there's actually a needing to move homes, a needing to give up something that has maybe long been a goal that you wanted to attain. Because the 6 of Swords is movement away from something. It's actually also moving on from stormy waters to calmer waters. And for me, this card actually has a much higher significance as far as meaning, in that it can also mean when we finally transcend a limitation we've had mentally regarding our experience. whether it's emotionally, whether it's physically, meaning that in our mind, we told ourselves at some point, we were not capable of something. And we kept telling ourselves that, like, I can never move outside of where I grew up. I can never attain upper level degree. I can never have enough money to travel the world. There's something along those lines where it's almost like you're moving on from that, whatever you were limited by mentally, whatever you were holding yourself back by. And it can be for the 10 of Pentacles that come in, this could be where maybe you were cutting yourself a little short, a little small, where you told yourself, I can never have that much money. I could never have that big house. I can never have that kind of free time to travel. Because that's what the 10 of Pentacles really represents. It represents what we want to attain in the physical, in our life experience. This could be a legacy. This could even be where you want as your legacy that you are a famous author or a famous painter. And it's almost like there's a sense here that Spirit is asking you, can you move on from this? There's also can be a sense here, though, too, where you might have to leave something established behind. Because the 10 of Pentacles can also speak to an established home, an established state of wealth. And that with the 6 of Swords, it's saying it's time to move on from that and take a new opportunity. And that new opportunity, again, is going to allow you to focus on perfecting a new aspect of the self. So however that resonates with you, whether this is you transcending a mental limitation to take you to a level that you never thought you could attain, or it's almost like waking up one day and realizing, I could just buy a train ticket to leave town. And I don't know why I never thought about it that way. I don't have to, buy a fancy plane ticket, or I could buy a bus ticket and I could go one town over. And I don't have to buy a house to do that or have a new job. I could just go for a day visit. There's something along these lines where it almost feels like it's like you wake up and you're like, I'm actually a lot freer than I thought. I don't have to stay in the house just because I've been here 30 years. I don't have to stay at this job just because I told myself that this was going to be where I retire. I can move on from that. Or I can move on from my self-limiting belief around what I'm capable of attaining or achieving in my life experience. Okay, so let's see about the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so we have the 4 of Cups. Yeah, I think this Ace of Pentacles is really going to show you where you've felt kind of like an outsider for a while, where you felt like you weren't really emotionally engaged with your experience. Yes, and there's the Ace of Cups and the 4 of Coins. Yeah, where you have not been investing in your own self, in your own needs, in what emotionally connects you. The Ace of Cups is a perfect thing to come into with the Ace of Coins, because the Ace of Cups is the water that nourishes the new opportunity, the new seed. And what does this cup represent? It is the direct connection to the self, to your spiritual self. It is I always look at it as almost like being baptized again or being reborn again, and you're realizing that connection. Now, this could actually be, for some of you, the opportunity is new love. This could be where you're literally meeting somebody and it's like, oh my gosh, it's taking me out of my comfort zone. I feel called. There's can be a little bit of that coming through. For those of you who are looking for a relationship, this could very much represent that. But it's also going to show you, I think, where for such a long time with the 4 of Cups, the 4 of Cups represents very similar to the 5 of Cups. There's the 3 cups here, and there's the 1 cup of the individual sitting apart from that. So there's that feeling of feeling like you are kind of the outsider looking in, that everyone else is celebrating or has support, and yet you're sitting on the sidelines. It can also be where you're just kind of feeling about your life, where there is no emotional engagement, and yet here comes the opportunity for that emotional engagement. But yet with the 4 of Coins, the 4 of Pentacles coming in, this is a card of holding back. It's a card of where we are wanting to keep the status quo. We don't want to invest. We don't want to change something in our physical. We don't want to take that little seed money this could actually be where you are holding back that painting and you're like, yeah, I'm just not going to swing by the gallery. And yet here's the opportunity waiting for you. The joy that would come through. Hold on just a moment, guys. Sorry about that. I had not silenced my phone, so a call was coming through. But what I was saying was that this can be where you might miss an opportunity for that emotional reconnection to almost, sometimes when the Four of Cups comes in, I like to say it's where we're kind of sitting and not joining the party. And there's a sense here of being able to rejoin the party, being able to come back in, taking that kind of leap of faith that's coming through here, whether it's towards a new relationship, whether it's towards doing something that's going to feel very fulfilling for yourself. It could even be where you move to a new location or take a new job, and it's that reconnection that you weren't expecting. Let's see here. For the final card, we have the Sun. Such a beautiful card to come in. I mean, when we're talking about true soul illumination, that is what the Sun card represents. Nine of Cups. Yes, it is really showing you what you have to be grateful for, but also that yearning wish within yourself. You know, when we have the Nine of Cups and we have the Ace of Cups, that together can become the Ten of Cups, which is our heart's fulfillment in this life experience. And I think there's that sense, it's almost like when you meet that perfect person, it allows you to see the dream that was always residing in your heart for the family that is to come. But you didn't know it until you went on that dating site and gave yourself the chance to go on a date with somebody, you know, or you didn't know that the dream in your heart really was always to be the artist or the painter or the writer, but yet you realize, you know, and just taking that leap of faith, that's what led to the opportunity. Maybe that gallery person says, you know, I don't have room for a new artist here, but my cohort over, you know, in the next city would love to bring on work like yours. Or I can connect a buyer who I know loves your type of artistry, or I can connect you with a mentor who can take you to the next level. But suddenly it's like that ding, there's that opportunity. And it's like it's illuminating a wish within your heart that you almost weren't allowing yourself to accept was there. Yeah, King of Coins. Ooh, I like that. King of Pentacles coming in. There's a sense you're really taking ownership of your physical experience, of really stepping up into that place. Or maybe for some of you, the dream has always been to be financially independent, or where you really get a chance to be the one that does save to have the home, and you become that king, where you really understand your own value, your own self-worth, what your time and energy is worth, and you perfect working with your physical experience. That really is what the King of Coins is. He can be a great business owner. He is somebody who's fiscally and financially responsible. Again, he knows how to command fair pay for what he knows he's worth. But there's that sense here for some of you. Now, this could also be that there could be a Taurus in your life as well. There could be that dream within your heart that you didn't realize was the love of your life, and it happens to be a Taurus, or a business partner. Even this could be represent someone who can come in and be an investor, something like that. But it could also be where you just really want to be in a place of knowing how to work with your physical experience, getting to that place where you, again, understand your self-value, and you are able to command that, and you're able to also be there. It might also be for some of you just actually having the dream within your heart is to be someone who is financially stable and independent, someone who does know how to manage their resources. And that could be what you're working on right now, the Eight of Pentacles. But this could also be that maybe in joining with a new romantic partner, you want to become that as well. This could be where you want to be the head of a household, or you want to be the person who becomes the provider for a future family. Something along those lines is really strongly coming through. Now we have the Nine of Swords coming in again at the bottom, representing the same underlying energy here. There's that worry again of, if I follow my heart, if I give in to this innocent part of myself, if I do what feels like fun, if I go back to, again, that innocent part, and I just trust what I'm feeling called to do, am I going to be left out in the cold? Or am I going to go through a disappointing experience again? And from everything I can see here, the answer is no, Sagittarius. The answer is there's an opportunity waiting to come in for love, reconnection, emotional reconnection, and an opportunity to really step up into your full power in your physical experience, which seems to be directly connected to a heart's dream of yours or a heart's desire. So as your final card here, we have Surrender the Drama. It says, no matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. Now, this could be something that's directly related to possibly the devil coming in. This could be where you share with someone that you want to share your painting or want to become an artist or that writer, and someone sits there in your life and says, is the naysayer. This can also be where, this could even be sometimes where I feel like when this card comes up, it can be where we're going back to the past and we're getting caught up in old relationship dynamics where we're kind of going over and over again that conversation we wish we would have had with someone where we prove them wrong, or something like that. And it's saying, we can just let the past be the past. We can let other people be themselves. We can't change what has happened. We can't, when you think about the 3 cups that are spilled here, this is like that saying of crying over spilled milk. You can't put that milk back in those cups. It's done. It's over with. So there's a sense of really kind of releasing anywhere where you feel that kind of emotional charge coming through of almost like righteous indignation. This would be like in your mind having that knockout argument with your mom about, why did you tell me as a child I couldn't be an artist and I wasted so much time not being an artist, and something along those lines. And it's like, no, you're being given a gift, and the gift is the dream, is all that you have to be grateful for, the 9 of Cups. And when we get to this place in our life, it doesn't suit us to go back and, with the Queen of Swords, to tell that old story. It suits us to tell the story of the gift, the opportunity we're being given at this time. I'm going to just pull a couple additional cards here real fast, Sagittarius, just to see what this drama could be related to. If we do have the 6 of Cups come up, it's definitely related to something from the past, wounding perhaps that you need to make peace with. Let's see here. Oh, interesting. So we have the Devil coming up reverse. Now, I don't put reversals in my deck, so when they come out reverse, this is very much a message. So the Devil coming up reversed is releasing you from those chains. This is saying that's where you surrender the drama. This is where we get to release yourself from possibly, again, that anger or resentment. I'm getting a lot of resentment. There could be some resentment or anxiety that has turned into resentment. This could be like where you were so worried for so long over something or someone. You were stressed at a job for years, and you're still hold this like resentment to that past work environment, to that past boss, and yet you just can't let it go. And it's like, you're never going to have that conversation with with your past boss. It happened. It gave you, Queen of Swords, the ability to see what you're capable of. It gave you the ability to see what you were able to go through and still come out strong. And if you can make peace with that and surrender that, there is this beautiful opportunity for soul reconnection and for possibly new love or for a dream fulfillment. So really think about it like that. There's this beautiful opportunity to really be able to break the chains of something from the past that has probably become a seed of resentment now. All right, I will leave it there, Sagittarius. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. If you'd like to book your own personal illumination reading, where you can take a look at what your soul would like to illuminate for you at this time, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see you all in your next soul illumination reading. Bye, Sagittarius.